Hello everybody, Matthew Armstrong here on day 54, I believe, of our 90-day transformation process from mediocrity to mastery. And do you notice there how my tonality changed when I wasn't sure of something? You notice that when I was like, is it day 54 or is it day 55? My tonality changed to a tone of slight uncertainty. Like day 54, 55, there wasn't a lot of certainty in my voice, right? Because I just wasn't sure. I'm like, is it day 54 or is it day 55? So that came across in my tonality, right? So we're talking about leadership and discovering your own capacity for leadership, leaving off from where we were the other day, in our last day. And like I was saying, a lot of it's in your physiology. It's also in your tonality. It's just how you speak, how you get your message across, and certainty can be heard in the voice, right? And so, you know, if you want to truly be a leader and have others have certainty in you, then they're going to see it. They're going to see it in your body, in your physiology. They're going to hear it in your tonality, and also in the words you use as well. You know, are you using powerful words, or are you using words like oh, might, maybe, possibly, whatever, or are you saying absolutely, yes, certainly, this is happening, this will happen, etc. And those are the words you're also saying to yourself. So you want to be a leader of yourself. To be a leader of yourself, it's the words that you're constantly saying to yourself. If you're saying, well, I don't know if I can do this or not, say absolutely, I'm going to do this no matter what, right? And that's being a leader to yourself. That's telling yourself what's going to happen. That's sending commands to your unconscious mind of what is going to happen and what it needs to prepare for, because your unconscious mind has almost virtually infinite resources, right? And it's just tapping into them and sending in the certain commands of what is going to happen. Make sense? Yeah, great. So we're reading from the book of The Values Factor by Dr. John Demartini. That's what we're following. This is the first video or training that you're watching from this series. And after this, you want to go back and watch them all sequentially, because we're reading from that book, and you need to get that book and go to drdemartini.com to purchase your copy of The Values Factor. I've got a few pages to go of our section on leadership, and then we're going to also do an introduction to the next section, the next chapter, which is on unleashing your vitality, on health and wellness. So we're going to finish up the leadership today, and then start intro into the health and wellness. Then the next week or more is going to be all on health and wellness. So talking about leadership, everybody has the capacity for leadership. Here's the thing: everybody has the capacity for leadership. It's just whether you are put in the situation, whether you put yourself in the situation, or whether you have some sort of desire to contribute. Because it's something that's deep within us all, whether we care to recognize it or not, or whether we ever uncover it. We all have a deep need to contribute, more than ourselves, to others, to the planet, to whatever, right? So some people never uncover this their whole lives, but it's in there. It's in our hearts if we decide to dust it off and have a look inside there, right? But some are in denial of this, right? But it's in every single one of us, deep down, that need to contribute more than ourselves. And it can come up in many ways, and that is how you lead. You become a leader by contributing, right? By giving value, by contributing. That's how you become a leader. So if you have a desire to contribute more than what you're currently doing, or more than just for yourself, right? Then that's going to start to activate your latent leadership capacities and capabilities and abilities and talents and skills will start to come to the surface when you see something where you need to contribute more than yourself, or when you're put in a situation. It could be an emergency situation. I remember when I was 19 years old, I just passed out of training in the Royal Marines, and we were doing an exercise in Jamaica, jungle training. And we're going up into the jungle in these 8-ton wagons, where we're kind of sitting in the back on these hard benches in lines, with all our gear to go into the jungle, all our gear, all our weapons, our big heavy bags, We've also got all these big logs in there in case the trucks get stuck to put them under the wheels. All in there. We're totally jam-packed, like 20 people in a truck. And the reconnaissance of the track previously was done in a small, like 2-ton or 1-ton or whatever it is, Land Rover, and they didn't take into account that we're going to be coming up there in 8-ton vehicles, including all of us in there, including all of our equipment, making it I guess well over 9 tons then, 10 tons or something like that, right? Going to be coming up this dirt track into the mountainous jungles, and so it had rained the night before, so it had been given the A-OK, we could get up there, but it rained the night before, so the track had then become soft, and then we're coming up in these big heavy trucks. So halfway up the mountain, we're rounding a bend. The first truck gets rounded, weakens the track. We come round it, and suddenly the track gives way, and from underneath the truck, and it's a mountain. It's a mountain with a huge ravine to the side of it, and the truck it all happened in slow motion, as it often does. We just started going, and I'm sitting with my back, because we're sitting in lines facing either way, right? So we start going back as the truck falls, as the road gives way, the truck starts falling down the hill, starts rolling. And I dive forward instinctively and catch onto a bar in front of me, and I hold onto it so I don't get catapulted back. Everybody else goes, and I'm holding onto this bar, and all the equipment flies and everything. And there's a tree behind it, and a little flat bit, and it's got stuck, and it hit against the tree, and stayed on its side. So we're completely over on our side. And the only thing stopping us from going down the hill would have been that tree, or else we would have carried on going down, and maybe everyone would have been dead. Maybe apart from one guy. One guy got catapulted out from the side when we first went over, but the rest of us were inside. And when we came to a standstill, I looked round to the higher ranks. I looked round to the corporals, and everyone was in shock. Everyone was like, in complete shock. People were groaning and moaning because they'd been landed on and injuries had happened. But I looked at everyone's faces, and everyone was in shock. And suddenly I had to step up and become the leader. There and then, I was forced into that situation. And so I said, right, everybody at the end, start passing out the bags, start moving out, get out now, start passing everything out, because all this stuff was on top of everyone. The big thick logs, the bags, the rifles, the seats had come out of their place where we were sitting on. They'd actually be brought out. So we had to get everything out, and I was giving everyone instructions of what to do until the corporals came to their senses, and they took over. But that was a position where I was put into a position of leadership out of just complete necessity in the moment, in the emergency situation. And I needed to do that, right? And it turns out that everybody lived. Some people had, one guy's arm was severely broken, black eyes, back injuries, things like that. Some people had to get airlifted away, but no one died in that, and I was completely unscathed. It was like 4 of us came out completely unscathed. So yeah, amazing, amazing to get out of it, everyone alive. But that woke me up. Suddenly, like my leadership got awakened in that moment. Just for that moment, right? And all fear went away of subordinating to others and things like that, and higher ranks and things like that, where something just took over, right? Because I had to help everybody. And I've seen that in different times in my life. I had this aversion to leadership. I had this aversion because I had this negative opinion on what leaders were like. I had an aversion to authority. I was slightly rebellious. I had an aversion to authority, right? Didn't like being told what to do. So if I didn't like being told what to do, I didn't want to tell anyone else what to do. Do you know what I mean? But if someone's coming to me in need of leadership, then I got over all my stuff. Basically, I got over all my stuff, all my negative beliefs and things like that. Where I saw that it wasn't really serving me. And that's what you want to do. You've got to look at, is this really serving me? Is this belief really serving me? What belief would serve me at a higher level? Ask questions like that. And the old limiting beliefs will fall away. And that's what happened with me, Like I trained in Japan in martial arts, and then when I came back to my hometown, just out of a need to contribute, a desire to contribute, I looked around and I said, look, I've had the opportunity and the blessing to be able to go and learn this incredible deep martial arts in Japan from the Grand Master. And then I'm back in my hometown, and there's people craving this, like I was once craving it. I've got, it was like a duty. I want to contribute this. I want to be able to give this to others, right? There's no point me going over there and getting all this knowledge if I don't then just pass it on, right? What's the point of that? And so then I opened up a dojo, and then suddenly I was put in a leadership position. For us, suddenly the leader, people came to me for advice, and I expanded, things like that, and started coaching and various things like that. Holding group classes, and I was put into this position then of a desire to contribute, because I had learned something that I then wanted to pass on. And that's when you start to become a leader, right? When you learn something and you want to pass it on, that's leadership, in a sense. It wasn't what I used to think it was. I used to think it was just someone being a bossy boots, but it's not. It's passing on specialized knowledge, right? And consulting and coaching and mentoring and things like that, helping other people go down the path that you've gone down, right? So we're going to continue with our reading from the book, The Values Factor, last few pages on leadership, and then we'll go into the next chapter. Discovering Your Capacity for Leadership, page 330. Every single one of us has the potential to be an inspired leader. If you study very carefully, you will find that many of the leaders who did extraordinary things on this planet began their leadership activities in the face of amazing challenges that inspired some of their greatest accomplishments, whether founding a business, leading a cause, or establishing leadership on a smaller scale in their communities or families. I once spoke at a South African prison where I asked the prisoners, how many of you, no matter what you've done or been through, still have deep inside you some meaningful and inspiring service that you would love to contribute to this planet? Almost every one of them raised their hands and said they had. They wanted to make a contribution. They may not have known how. They may have had all kinds of illusions in the way. They might have had all kinds of fears or excuses. They might have even become so accustomed to subordination that they believed they were oppressed victims of their history. But deep inside every human being is a yearning to contribute. So it doesn't really matter where you come from or what you have gone through or what you're going through. What matters is your perception of these events. And what matters is that every one of us has within us the ability to be a leader if we live according to our own highest values. And when you are authentic, you are empowered. You are unique. Your greatest innovation, greatest genius, and greatest creativity are born when you are living according to your highest values and being your most authentic self. There is no competition with the true you. There is only a perception of competition when you are subordinating to other people and thinking that you're supposed to be somebody that you're not. Anytime you minimize yourself to others, you become in turn ungrateful for yourself. Your heart shuts down to yourself and you think there is something wrong with you. Your confidence becomes eroded. You shroud your certainty. You cloud your vision. Those without a vision perish, but those with a vision flourish. Because deep inside every human being, there is a desire to live congruently, to live authentically, and to live by an inspired vision. So anybody who exemplifies that congruency automatically draws people to help them fulfill whatever it is they are dedicated to. Whenever you set a goal that is congruent with your highest values, you believe in that goal and you tend to walk your talk and add certainty to your life as you fulfill that goal. You become very affirmative. When I hire you for a job that is congruent with your highest values, you immediately say, that is me. Let me have that job. I can do it, and I know what to do. You won't give up until you can find a way to achieve. But if I ask you to do some job that is not inspiring to you and that is not based on your highest values, you will say, I don't know. That is not me. I can't do it. As you can see, you become affirmative to the degree of your congruency. So again, if you're living congruently with your highest values, you become a master of your destiny. If not, you become a victim of your history. So why not give yourself permission to set goals that are truly meaningful to you? Don't consume your time setting fantasies and delusions and end by beating yourself up. Instead, give yourself permission to do something extraordinary. Take advantage of the power of the values factor and awaken the inner leader that you are destined to be. That ends our section on leadership. Very powerful, inspiring stuff, right? And now we're going to carry on with the next chapter, unleashing your vitality. We either make ourselves miserable or we make ourselves strong. The amount of work is the same. Carlos Castaneda. I first became interested in the healing arts and wellness as a teenager when I discovered that I had a type of strychnine and cyanide poisoning. As we saw in chapter 1, this condition was the result of insufficient nutrition in combination with my consumption of too many toxic psychedelic hallucinogens. Some of my symptoms lingered for about 12 years, inspiring me to do everything I could to dissolve them. I did everything I could think of to restore my body to a state of wellness. I changed my diet, I supplemented, I exercised, I fasted, I did yoga, I meditated, and I studied many traditional and non-traditional healing arts and related disciplines intensively and extensively. As with many people who have experienced a health challenge, the void I experienced concerning my illness inspired me to develop a very high value and strong drive to learn everything I could about that field of wellness. Because I had also been diagnosed with dyslexia as a child, I likewise developed a very strong value on learning, which led me to do advanced studies in the field of neurology. Although I eventually won honours in Prem as an undergraduate, I decided to go on to graduate school and become a doctor of chiropractic. I do believe that there's a place for every form of healing, including conventional or allopathic medicine, as well as the various alternatives. But I was inspired by the principles of chiropractic, which are based upon the notion that wellness consists of a fully functioning nervous system and spine, and that we can create wellness by providing the body with the nutrients, the mental and physiological rest, and the balance that it needs. It seemed to me that too many conventional physicians believe that the solution to illness is to remove an organ, prescribe a medication, or kill a germ. But I did not believe that people's illnesses were due to an excess of organs, a deficiency of drugs, or an invasion of germs. Instead, I believed, and still believe, that the internal power that causes the body to evolve and develop has the power to return the body to wellness. If the body's internal and external environments are brought back into balance, and if the master governor, the nervous system, is allowed to fully orchestrate the show. My belief in the innate wisdom of the body has been strengthened by the number of times I've seen how previously held medical wisdom and understanding has been humbled. So many concepts that we once believed were cutting edge, we now view as mere stages of incomplete awareness or even complete fallacies. For example, we used to think that our tonsil and our appendix were vestigial organs and unnecessary parts of the body. Now we recognize that they are absolutely essential components of the lymphatic and immune systems and actually prevent many cancers and other disorders of the throat, tongue, mouth and bowel. Such incorrect or incomplete hypotheses show us how much further and deeper our knowledge of the body must go. Yet the body itself has its own inner wisdom. It is always known that the tonsils and appendix were needed. Of course, if I developed a serious disorder, I might well turn to specialists in various professions who would have much to contribute to my health. But my focus when it comes to wellness is not just on what specialists can do for me, but also on what I can do for myself. I believe that each of us has within us a vast power and potential to create our own illness or wellness. And this belief is confirmed the more I continue to explore the applied physiology and anatomy of the human body. The more I learn, the more deeply I believe in the power of the mind and body to transform illness into wellness. Here again, the values factor is crucial, for the key to harnessing the power of your healing mind and unleashing your vitality is to live in full congruence with your true highest values. Living by your highest values fills your life with wholeness and well-being. Alright, so I think that's a great intro to the chapter. This is quite a long chapter we got now. That's our start of it anyhow. Yeah, very enthusiastic and excited about this chapter now. It's a great one. So that's it again for today. Thank you very much for joining me. It's inspiring to be able to speak to you wherever you are in the world. I'm truly grateful for that privilege to do that. Thank you very much. And if you haven't already done so and you want to get on our subscriber list, then click on the link below, put in your email address, get on our subscriber list. And if you want a vehicle to create financial freedom or just another income stream online, then go ahead and click on the link below and enter your details, and you'll get more information on how you can do that. Okay, thanks very much for joining me again, and see you.